Her lover, a boxing champion, learned too late about my military past. His athletic titles couldn't save him from my revenge. Be me, 31 years old. Call me Anthony Vincent Cole. Would have ignored everything and moved on with my life. But that fucking smirk did it. That smirk forced my hand, whether she saw it or not. Their total disrespect tore into my soul. Clear that Isabella, my wife of 6 years, wouldn't be my wife much longer. Part of our marriage problems was my work schedule. Been grinding nonstop for past 8 months. Working towards department head position at tech consulting firm. Big promotion coming up. Would mean Isabella could quit her job. We could finally start our family. Another issue was Isabella being drop-dead gorgeous. One of those magazine cover beauties. Never learned to be firm with guys hitting on her. Doesn't exactly flirt back. But has this enchanting smile that sends wrong signals. Isabella looks like that famous actress from those superhero movies. Same stunning face and perfect figure. Just a bit taller. Men naturally drawn to her like moths to flame. Had my suspicions for a while. Too many late nights at work. More business trips than usual. But that smirk on his face at their company party, that was the smoking gun. Almost had to beg Isabella to bring me to this party. Now I knew why. Respect means everything in my family. Let me tell you a story if you've got a minute. Back in high school, was all-star shortstop for varsity baseball team. Early in the season, playing against our biggest rivals, team that could keep us from conference championship. Their pitcher throws fastball straight at my head. Ball misses face but hits helmet. Get up like nothing happened. Start jogging to first base. Look over at pitcher. Dude gives me that same kind of smirk. Quietly mouths wimp at me. Something snaps inside. Charge the mound without warning. Surprise the hell out of him. Instead of usual baseball fight dance, straight up punch him in the nose. Blood everywhere. All over his pristine white uniform. Complete chaos breaks out. Get suspended immediately. Hearing scheduled to decide if I'm banned permanently. Coach was pretty disgusted with me. But my old man had my back when he took me home. I saw what that jerk did and said to you, can't let these clowns disrespect you. It all goes downhill after they know they have you by the balls. Coach's disapproval really bothered me though. Been my coach for 3 years straight. Really wanted his respect. Show up at his office next day. He gives me this lecture I'll never forget. What do you care what some punk says to you? You know where I grew up? Down at Grove in 83rd. Where some thug was always trying to get me worked up. Lucky my parents wouldn't stand for fighting. Kept me focused on school. Got me out of that neighborhood. Now I live wherever I want. Got a job I love. Those same thugs either dead in prison or living in some dump with needles in their arms. Looks me dead in the eye. So here's the deal. If you want to play for me again, no more fighting. Don't care what the circumstance is. End up with 3-game suspension. Someone was watching out for me. At the hearing, Peter Walsh shows up. He's the opposing team's catcher. Turns out he was disgusted. Their coach ordered that pitch. Wanted me banned permanently. Peter didn't want to win the title that way. Saved my ass. Peter ended up being catcher on my college team. Eventually became best man at my wedding to Isabella. Back to present day. Could have handled it if Isabella showed some respect. If she just said it's over and I'm leaving. Been dumped before. Not since college, though. And not by someone who stood before 100 people, promising to love me forever. But yeah, could have handled that. Believe me. But Isabella chose different path. Obviously fooling around with coworker Lucas Bennett. Coming home to give me seconds. Feel like those cartoon characters. Coach on my left shoulder. Whispering, take the high road, walk away. Dad on right shoulder. Shouting, crush them both, son. Didn't take long to get solid proof. No secret spy stuff needed. Monday morning after company party. Take day off work. Hire divorce lawyer. Get private detective on retainer. First night that same week. Isabella calls saying she's working late. Call ex-police detective to follow them. He tracks them to Lucas's luxury condo. No photos of actual fooling around. But pretty sure they weren't spending 2 hours. Analyzing work presentations. Everything's set up for Isabella's next visit. Friday night she calls. Having drinks with girls from office. Don't wait up, Anthony. Been ages since I had girls' night out. Wait an hour after her call. Drive to address detective gave me. There's Isabella's car, parked right in his driveway. Knock on door. Surprised when he answers. Standing there in bathrobe, with that same damn smirk. Don't get any ideas, Anthony. I'm a black belt in karate. Not here to start anything, Lucas. She's yours now. Last thing I need is lying, cheating woman for wife. Tell Isabella to come to door. Need to deliver these papers. Show him manila envelope. Isabella, come downstairs. No need to hide. Isabella comes downstairs, wearing robe that matches Lucas's. Almost smile at the cliche of it. Isabella, here are the divorce papers. Get yourself a lawyer. Have them contact mine to work out settlement. Do not come home tonight, or any time before tomorrow evening. I'll have my stuff out of our apartment by then. You can come back after that. Isabella takes envelope, holds it like it's radioactive. Anthony, my parents and my brother's family, they're supposed to come for brunch tomorrow. What am I supposed to tell them if I'm not there? Not a problem, Isabella. Just before coming here, emailed your brother, gave him this address, told him you and Lucas would host family here instead, assuming he'll get message in time. If not, I'll let them know about venue change when they arrive. Bye. Look at Isabella. She's starting to break down, crying now. Then notice something. See it on her left hand. Almost lose my cool right there. Isabella, you didn't even have decency to take off my grandmother's wedding ring. While fooling around with this bastard, give it to me now. The ring you gave me is an envelope with divorce papers. Isabella completely breaks down, but manages to get ring off finger. Leave without another word. Wasn't completely surprised. When doorbell rings Saturday morning, around 11 a.m., maybe your brother didn't get my email. This will be awkward. Look out window. See Isabella's family on porch. Had no idea how awkward until open door. Anthony, we're sorry. Got your email. Talk to Isabella. Can we come in and talk? Next hour, her brother, mother and father, do their best to convince me to let Isabella back home. Drop the divorce. Seems Isabella went to brother's house after I left her with Lucas. Confessed everything. Asked for their help. They know I love her parents. Especially since my folks moved to Tampa. After Dad's retirement, they talk about counseling, about forgiveness, about second chances. Spend full hour trying to convince them. It's not going to happen. No one happy when they leave. No smiles anywhere. Takes every bit of willpower not to hug my mother-in-law. When she walks out onto front porch, she's crying. Want to tell her it's okay, but it's not. So don't give her that hug. Do usual divorce dance for next few months until everything's final. She wants to talk. I don't. Her attorney asks for counseling. Mine says it's waste of time and money. Marriage irrevocably broken by wife's infidelity. Week before divorce finalized. Get invited to Peter's house for dinner. He knows more messy details about why we split than I do, because his wife Lily still talks to Isabella occasionally. Sitting in his kitchen, watching Lily cook dinner. Lily's 7 months pregnant. She's practically glowing. Peter sees me staring at her belly. Knows exactly what I'm thinking. Anthony, let's go out on porch and chat. I'll meet you out there. My beer's empty. Head to fridge. On way out, put arm around Lily's waist. He adores you, Lily. Don't ever cheat on him. Why would I do that, Anthony? I love that man. We're going to have little boys soon. I'm not crazy. That's what I would have said about Isabella a year ago. Look at us now. 6 days from divorce. Lily gets serious. Isabella got stupid, Anthony. I'm not near that dumb. Peter's not going to try talk me out of this, is he? Go on out there. Listen to what he has to say. I'll tell you what I tell Isabella every time she calls. I'll support both of you any way I can, except giving either of you my opinion on what you should do. Give Lily kiss on cheek. Head outside. Hand Peter one of beers. Wait for him to start. Anthony, Isabella wants to meet. Talk before divorce is final. She called me to ask you. No. No surprise there. Think about it for a minute. Not first time she's asked. Why should I give her satisfaction? All I'll do is ease her mind. Not giving her that. I wouldn't either, Anthony. But let me ask you something. Got any unresolved questions she can answer? If so, turn this around on her. Get answers to your questions first. Then do whatever. Walk out, stay and listen. Whatever you want. What he says makes sense. So you didn't get me out here to give her another chance. No, Anthony. Only want what's best for you. If that's going through with divorce, then I'm with you on it. Meet Isabella night before court date. Little bistro downtown. Ask for quiet corner table. Thanks for meeting me, Anthony. Isabella looks ready to burst into tears. Takes every bit of willpower not to take her small hands in mine. Don't give her chance to start. Isabella, I know you have things to say, but first I have a couple questions. Waiter picks that moment to interrupt. Starts rambling about chef's specials. Politely cut him off. Order bottle of Merlot. Chef salad to split. Ask waiter for as much privacy as possible. He gets the hint. Isabella, first question is why? I thought we had something special. We did, Anthony. But reasons are all old cliches. Been together exclusively for 7 years. Got seduced by good-looking guy at work, who complimented me on everything. You were spending more time thinking about her being at work. Not fair, Isabella. You know I only put in those hours. To get promotion you wanted to be stay-at-home mom. Was trying to make that possible. I know that, Anthony. Knew it then too, but I was being selfish idiot. Wanting it all right now. Can't believe I screwed up so bad. We were less than a year from having our babies. I even had names picked out. Tears falling from her eyes. Still resist holding her hands. Okay, promised myself wouldn't ask. But have to know, was he that much better in bed than me? Isabella surprises me, starts laughing through tears. No, no, no. He couldn't hold candle to your lovemaking. Never had to fake it with you. Isabella hadn't seen Waiter coming up behind her. When she said this, when he drops off wine, takes a moment to look at my lap, smiling when he leaves. Isabella turns bright red. We laugh together. First time in 6 months. Finish our salads and wine. Isabella tries whole time to get me to accept her apology. Hold out telling her, might one day, but it's too raw. Too soon. When we get up to leave, Isabella drops last bomb. This is another reason for my actions. Anthony, you can be like statue sometimes. Our marriage ends tomorrow. And you're like statue. No tears, no shouting. I cry myself to sleep every night. Did you really love me? Look straight at her. Isabella, I love you more than you'll ever know. But let's get couple things straight. Few times tonight you referred to your actions. Let's call it what it was. You cheated on me, Isabella. You fooled around with another man when you were supposed to be faithful, forsaking all others. Second thing, whether I go home tonight and get drunk or cry is my business. Chances are after our divorce tomorrow, you and that bastard will be couple. He's already shown what he thinks of me by fooling around with my wife, ending my marriage, laughing at me whole time. If I cry right now, or if I told you about my bad nights, you're bound to tell him one day. Then that arrogant prick will have one more laugh at my expense. Don't push it, Isabella. You don't want to see demon. That lurks just below surface. Don't go to court next day. Let my attorney handle it. Modern no-fault divorce. Equitable division of property. That day, marriage just ended. Months passed since divorce. Used time to plan. Did get that promotion at work? Great bump in pay, but didn't have anyone to spend it on. Probably spent too much time on Reddit. After Peter told me about it over drinks, Peter gave me lowdown on our cheating stories. Said there were hundreds of stories where jilted husband got revenge on ex and her lover. Read stories taking notes. Ranking favorite methods for revenge. Ideas that would land me in jail. Ranked pretty low. Psychological terror ranked pretty high. Rankings changed after. Had misfortune of bumping into Lucas. Didn't know at time, but following our divorce, Lucas and Isabella started dating again. Now engaged, Lucas let me know he won. I lost. Isabella was fantastic lover. He couldn't get enough. Must be something wrong with my equipment, since Isabella was so easy to get into his bed. When we were married, was I coward because I turned and walked away? Wasn't afraid of Mr. Black Belt, but just spent 2 years busting ass. To get that promotion, any physical altercation would flush half my life down drain. Guy already messed up my love life. Would he get satisfaction of wrecking my work life too? Walked away. You may call me doormat for that, but it is what it is. Method for payback comes out of blue. Funny thing about some guys, can't help but dip their pen in company ink. Lucas was no exception. Isabella wasn't first woman he dated from their company. One day get call from Monica Smith. Woman I met at one of company parties. Wants to meet for dinner. She and Lucas were getting serious. At least she thought. When suddenly he treated her like disease. Lucas dumped Monica. When he decided to pursue my wife, things heated back up between them. While Isabella was fighting our divorce, turned frosty immediately. When divorce went through, Lucas and Isabella became couple again. Monica is pissed. Hell has no fury like woman scorned. How could you let Lucas steal your wife? Without so much as whimper. I was at that holiday party last December. Saw way Lucas acted. I was still in love with Lucas. Was hoping you would fight for your wife. You didn't do thing. Are you clueless or just wimp? This dinner invitation, Monica's attempt at giving me backbone. Sit back. Take drink of bourbon. Think about how to answer her challenge. Monica, sorry I don't know you. Don't know how much you can be trusted. Trust is in limited supply at moment, but can tell you I'm not wimp. Someday there will be repercussions. Ever hear saying revenge is dish best served cold? Monica looks at me. Didn't think you're Sicilian. That's right. If you're really interested in revenge, just sit tight for a while. One day I'll call you, ask for favor. Nothing illegal, but very important. Go home that night. Ideas start to gel. But could I trust Monica? Keep her mouth shut? Discreetly make inquiry. Someone I could trust. He confirms Monica's story. Monica and Lucas had dated. Their breakup coincided with Isabella and Lucas's open relationship. While we talked, my source apologized for missing first affair, not giving me heads up, graciously offered that company's senior management, was tired of romantic drama surrounding Lucas's affairs, in process of rewriting corporate policies. Regarding workplace romances, Lucas rumored to be skating on very thin ice during separation and 2 months since divorce. Been hiring escort for sexual and social release. Rose Diamond, her professional name. I assume we'd go to dinner or show every 2-3 weeks. End up in bed for a couple hours. Before she went home, cost me bundle. But like I said, had nowhere else to spend increased paycheck. Since my promotion, first time paying for sex, at least directly. Didn't want to tempt myself with rebound relationship. So Rose became my go-to lady. Whenever urge hit me, she also became integral part of my plans. Call Monica. Tell her if she's on board. Only has 2 tasks. First, give me Isabella's schedule when she'd be out of town on business. Second, at right time, approach Lucas. Ask him to meet her in public place. To get closure, Monica calls next day. Isabella's scheduled to be out of town. In 2 weeks, for 3 days and nights, Monica contacted Lucas. Arranged to meet him. First night of Isabella's trip at downtown Ritz Lounge, just for drinks and conversation. But pretty sure Lucas thinking he might end up with Monica. One last time. Rose laughing when explained first part of plan. Really shock her when lay out part 2. Rose, do any ladies that do what you do ever get social disease? Not talking about deadly stuff like AIDS, talking about curable things. Like the clap? Sure it happens, but it's rare. Most girls insist on condoms. Couple I know will go bareback, but they try to be careful. They charge double for privilege. Been couple of those girls. That had to get cure. Do me favor. Let me know when one of girls has something to contribute. I'll pay her bareback rate. Pay you same as finder's fee. You're kidding, right? You want to give this guy something? Nothing deadly. Just something to spoil his wedding night. Everything set for part 1. Rose tells me details later that night. She's sitting at bar in Ritz Lounge, sipping Cosmo when Lucas walks in, sits next to her. They exchange smiles. Lucas orders scotch. His cell phone rings almost immediately. Sure, Monica. I understand. Hope your mom gets better. Lucas hangs up. Immediately turns to Rose. Hello, I just got stood up because my date's mom is sick. Can I buy you another? Rose gives Lucas big smile. Sure, I can handle 2, but don't try and get me drunk. Been on road for 2 weeks. Haven't seen my husband. During those 2 weeks, girl starts to get randy. Rose flashes wedding band. Bought in pawn shop for this occasion. Like waving red cape at bull. Lucas takes bait. They drink and small talk for half hour. Rose does have that third drink. Does her best to act little tipsy. Before she finishes third Cosmo, Lucas doing his best to seduce her. Little touches on her arm and leg. Charming conversation. With enough sexual innuendo to try to warm her up. Rose told me later. Hard not to laugh at all work he was putting in. Considering she was getting paid, she finally had enough of seduction. Finished Cosmo. Invited him up to her room. Lucas and Rose fooled around twice. Up in her room, of course Lucas didn't know. Entire event being photographed. Rose kicked him out, claiming need to recover, get some sleep, but not before getting his cell number. She and I reviewed photos on my laptop. Promised any shots where she could be identified would be erased before either camera or memory card left room. Even after erasing half photos, still had few dozen. Showing Lucas and his altogether fooling around with stranger. Another month before wedding. Hoping we'd get lucky before month was out. Within 2 weeks, Rose calls me with news. One of girls is sick with gonorrhea. Only found out because she's asking me. And another girl to cover. While she takes cure, did you tell her about my request? Briefly. She's willing to have conversation. But be aware she's mercenary. We'll probably charge you another double. Because she figures you'll have hard time getting replacement. What about your rate? Does that change? No, I figure we have deal. You always take good care of me. Which is true, because I've always tipped her extra. So Rose and I meet with this young lady. No name, she insists. Work out details for part 2. This will cost me few grand, but it is so worth it. Rose calls Lucas next day. Hey, Lucas, dear. It's Rose from Ritz. Remember me? How could I forget? Wondered if you're up for ride of your lifetime. Pretty full of yourself. We had a lot of fun that night. But what are you willing to do to make it ride of my lifetime? I'm here at Ritz with coworker. She's wild one. After what I told her, she thought you could handle us both. This evening, can you get away? Of course. Lucas's self-image made him believe. 2 women would want to fool around with him. Just need to make quick phone call. I'll be in lounge. Not lounge. Just come up to room 449. We'll be here. Bring some champagne chilled. When Lucas arrives at room 449, mystery girl there, but no Rose. Where's Rose? Lucas asks. Got call from home. Her son is sick. She's back in her room, walking her husband through routine. Said it's his first time dealing with sick kid, but you and I can get started. And they did. Rose never showed up, but mystery girl did her best to make Lucas forget about threesome. After he left at 10 o'clock, She met us at local coffee shop. Collected balance I owed her. Admit felt kind of guilty doing this to guy. But he's such an ass that by time he left, almost felt good about it. She picked up envelope, walked outdoor. Rose looked at me and shrugged. Told you she's mercenary. You paid me for night. Want to go to your place and fool around? I did, and we did. Waited until week after wedding. Finished my project, both Isabella and her company. Received envelopes in mail with phony return addresses. Both envelopes contained brief letter and set of photos. Isabella's letter read, Dear Mrs. Bennett, sorry to be bearer of bad news, but seems your husband and my wife have been seeing each other. When she was traveling to your town, PI hired to get me proof, provided me with these photos, only included those that show his face, so you would have no doubt it's him. Wasn't going to inform you, except I just received word from my doctor. She's infected me with social disease. You may want to get tested. Signed, soon-to-be ex-husband of your husband's latest conquest. Letter to CEO read, Dear Sir, just thought you should know what kind of man your company employs. According to my wife, he picked her up at bar, got her drunk, proceeded to give her social disease. Don't know if this letter will get to you, or whether you care, but I'd watch the scumbag. He seems to have no morals. Signed, One sorry husband. Things quickly fell into place. Isabella's family had marriage annulled. Lucas got fired. Rumor has it they both were on meds. Helps to have friend. In County Health Service Department, pretty much went about business of getting on with my life. Sometimes imagine follow-up scenarios. In one scenario, break living daylights out of Lucas. In another, pretend to get back with Isabella. Take her to foreign country, then leave her stranded there, without cards, passport, etc. Might have done it too, except for vision of her mother. And what it would do to her may have been that cruel to my ex-wife, but not to my former mother-in-law's daughter. Quickly lost interest. As new job became more interesting and challenging. That is until next Cole family picnic. Uncle Vincent, my father's older brother, was there. Uncle Vincent is connected, if you get my drift. He called me over. We had quiet chat. Anthony, tell me about your divorce. What happened? I gave Uncle Vincent Reader's Digest version of our breakup. What did you do about it? Then I explained what I had done. To seek revenge. That's wicked, but not exactly scorched earth. No, Uncle Vincent. I did my best to put it behind me. Take high road. Told him why. That's good. Those are great reasons. You know that baseball coach? Really did you good turn. Uncle Vincent wasn't any more or less bigot when it came to racial matters, but he always thought it was funny. That black man from Chicago slums had as much influence on my life as my father. If you took after that hot-headed dad of yours, you wouldn't be man you are today. Many times I had to settle my baby brother down, or he would have wound up dead or in jail. You ever talked to Coach Price? Only few times. Not since I was junior in college. Kind of let it slip. You should look him up. He volunteers at Boys and Girls Club down on West Palmer. Let him know what he's done for you. Man likes to hear that once in a while, but right now walk over to your father. Give him a hug. Tell him you love him. He needs to hear that too. Uncle Vincent was funny guy. Heard he's feared by many, but always acted like teddy bear around me. I did go see Coach Price. He convinced me to start volunteering at club. Even started dating his niece. Beautiful woman. But that's another story. In other words, no drama. Just love. One last thing. On my 30th birthday, received birthday card from Uncle Vincent. Simply read, Happy birthday, nephew. Nobody laughs at Cole. Seems certain Lucas Bennett was found last night. In alley behind bar he frequents. Victim of mugging. Nothing life-threatening. But he did have broken nose. Few broken fingers and ribs. And 2 very swollen testicles. I guess his black belt must have been left at home that night.